welcome back to Newsmax Now. I'm Miranda Kahn. Earlier this week, we spoke with former Secret Service agent Dan Bongino about new upgrades for the presidential limo.
There are new reports about the next generation of the presidential limo, also known as the Beast, although I'm hearing that's only the media that calls it that. Air Force One also getting an upgrade recently, or very soon as well. These pictures recently surfaced showing what appears to be the next generation presidential limo, again also known as the Beast, although Dan's telling me that's not really cool to call it that. The prototype appears to be a Cadillac Escalade with some modifications, of course, and the article autoguide.com also writes that it's noticeably raised ride height and longer proportions. The prototype doesn't exactly fit into anything in Cadillac's product line. All right, let's also talk about Air Force One also. Air Force One getting an upgrade for the next president as well. Boeing has just won a contract from the Air Force to build the next round of Air Force Ones. There are multiple, I think two. It's going to be based on the 747-8 jumbo jet model. Boeing just got a $25 million contract just to study the design. The overall contract will be worth about $1.65 billion for two new Air Force Ones. With us now for more on this, Dan Bongino, former Secret Service agent, also author of The Fight, a great new book out about the Secret Service as well, and much more. Dan, great to have you with us.
Yeah, good to be here, always. All
right, so we see these new pictures of the Beast, but you just informed me I shouldn't really call it that, right?
Yeah, it's kind of a joke in the Secret Service that only press people call it the Beast. Like, no one else calls it that. I don't know if it's because they like jargon or what it is, but nobody calls it the Beast but the media.
All right, tell us one thing about this presidential limo, why it's so special that a lot of us don't know.
Yeah, I mean, having been in the transportation section of the Presidential Protective Division, what we call, the PPD, for 3 years of my 5 years on the president's detail, I'm pretty familiar with them. Obviously, a lot of it's secret, but one of the things about the car is it's not a car.
Right.
It's a truck. And when you're giving the limo tours to people, which we used to do, and you look at the vehicle head on, not side, because from the side, I think the length of it distorts your perception and you just associate it with a limousine. When you look at it from the front, the new generation, it's clearly a truck. It's not a car.
All right, so things are changing, obviously, as they have throughout history. Is there going to be any kind of new security upgrades to this that would change based on where we're at right now? Because it's a pretty secure vehicle.
Yeah, now, I've been out for 3 years, but I maintain a good, robust network of contacts within the Secret Service. And, of course, without divulging any secrets here, the armor is always going to be the instrumental component of the vehicle where there's constantly upgrades. The armor is very sophisticated. We have a separate shop that up-armors these vehicles, so they're always looking for new technology there. One of the other areas where they're always looking for constant improvement is the armor on the glass. That's a completely separate type of armor for obvious reasons.
Right.
It has to be transparent. But the glass, some of the windows in the car actually roll down. It creates a little bit of a problem because you have to create a pocket for the window to roll into. So the engineering behind the car is pretty sophisticated.
Pretty cool stuff. Well, it's great to see. We like to see our president travel in style, no matter who the president is.
Yes.
Air Force One getting an upgrade as well, too. And we're hearing now also Bernie Sanders is going to be the next presidential candidate to get Secret Service protection out there. Talk to us about how your daily life changes once a Secret Service detail is assigned to you on the campaign trail.
Yeah, I remember being there for a couple of details when they had just I remember Bill Bradley, the senator from New Jersey, when he was running in the presidential election, and he had just gotten a protective detail and come out to Long Island, where I was a new agent. It changes everything. I mean, nothing you do is private anymore. And I don't think as normal average Americans we have any real sense of that. I mean, we're in a free country where, we go in our house, we lock the door at night, we assume we're either on our own or with our families. That's never the case ever again when you have Secret Service protection. There is always someone looking after you. I mean, they may not be hovering over your bed while you're sleeping, but there's someone, 5 or 10 feet away every place you go, and you see them react a little differently. You'll see them start to change a little bit. Some for the better, some for the worse.
Well, we'll leave that for a different conversation. Also, back in December, a report came out talking about the ongoing problems at the Secret Service. I know there's a level of professionalism that doesn't get reported on as much as the scandals tend to. But does anything change when the next president comes in? Is there a different in relationship, president to president, when there's a new administration in place?
Yes, and it's based almost exclusively, though, on the behavior of the president. In other words, the security is evolving constantly. It doesn't matter who the president is, or it doesn't make a difference. Security evolves within a presidential term. But if someone is not punctual, let's say, without going into names, it's been a noted problem in the Secret Service. It alters the entire dynamic of the Secret Service. Remember, these guys are on 8-hour shifts.
Right.
If you're going to constantly be late, you're going to have people standing on their feet for 16 hours a day, 7 days a week. It's nice to work hard. Nobody's complaining. The Secret Service is paid very well. But there's a physiological reaction to being exhausted all the time, and it's made rougher when you're not punctual.
Well, punctuality is important. Dan Bongino, thanks so much for being with us and showing up on time today. You can catch Dan's podcast, the Renegade Podcast, at the Conservative Review. Also, the book again, The Fight. Great to have you with us, Dan, as always.
Good to be here. You got it.
The Marco Rubio campaign is now selling a T-shirt that calls Marco Rubio Bay. Hillary Clinton called it such a desperate attempt to appeal to young people. I can't believe I didn't think of it first.
All right, Marco Rubio, see which other candidates were the butt of some late-night jokes last night. Plus, we always love to hear from you, our viewers. Not too late. Tell us what you think about the new jobs report. Is it all mumbo-jumbo? Does it make any sense to anyone out there? We're coming right back after this.